For years, the UK's nightclub industry has been a central part of the country's culture and identity. However, according to the Nighttime Industries Association's Last Night Out campaign, at the current rate of closures, there would be no clubs left by 2030. As per the Nighttime Industries Association, about a third of UK nightclubs have closed between March 2020 and November 2024. But why is that? Since the COVID-19 pandemic, businesses have faced rising costs across the board, which is making it increasingly difficult to make money.
We've just, as the owners, have just had to soak up the fact that they just make less money. Wages have gone up nearly 100% since 10 years ago. Electricity costs have gone up as well. The alcohol duty has gone up massively. We're the last link in the chain. We can only charge what people will pay. If people will not pay, high prices for the drinks, then we just have to charge cheaper. Unfortunately, for some of the bars and that smaller, they can't afford to make their drinks cheaper. They have to stay alive.
As well as costs rising for businesses, the cost of living crisis has meant consumers have less money in their pockets. According to a survey done by the Nighttime Industries Association, 68% of respondents have said that financial constraints had meant that they are going out less than they did a year ago.
People haven't got that money in their pocket. Their rents have gone up, students' rents have gone up, the cost of groceries has gone up, the cost of energy has gone up. So they've got a limited amount to go and spend on luxury items. But people also are thinking more about their well-being. So there's a consideration around low and low alcohol, but the bars and pubs are delivering that. So culture and social cohesion are still a really important part of what people want to do. They just can't do it as often.
People are still going out. Younger people, I guess, aren't going out as much. They say 25% of 18-year-olds are teetotal, they don't drink alcohol.
As well as changing trends in drinking habits and consumers having less disposable income, venues are also closing down because of regulation and licensing issues, as well as harsh attitudes from local authorities.
Back to this, there is a fear of after dark. We can't run society on whether we can police it or not. We need to just police society. And what we can't say is, we haven't got enough police, so you can't have a nightclub in Aberystwyth, or, Plymouth can't have another nightclub because we haven't got enough police. They don't say you can't have another supermarket because we haven't got enough police, or another hotel. So the limitations are based around narrative sometimes. And I always argue that there is an equal proportion of shoplifting as there is antisocial behaviour in the evening. It almost feels like the post-midnight safety transport infrastructure is willfully closing dance floors, or without considering closing dance floors.
With many of the businesses closing down being smaller venues, this means that there is less space for artists starting out to play and refine their craft.
Most meaningful places in my career, and where I started, and everything have been shutting down, or just not doing as well, or having to reduce the hours and stuff. And it's they're kind of what I built myself off, and where I first started. It's kind of where I found my feet, and not having those makes it then so much harder for people in the future who are going to start DJing and start getting into music and stuff. It makes it so much harder for them because there's not those smaller places to kind of push them off their feet, I suppose, because they're all shutting down.
As well as being a space where artists can begin their career, many nightclubs and nighttime businesses also serve as a very important cultural space for communities.
It's like one of the oldest forms of creative space, having a place where people can listen to music, dance, sing, meet each other, communicate. So they need to understand how important it is for community.
A part of the culture, our British culture, is a culture of going to the pub, it's going out, it's socialising with friends.
The government need to recognise the importance of them in terms of shaping community, in terms of physical, mental, social well-being.
With consumer spending reaching £223.5 billion in the nighttime economy, according to the Nighttime Industries Association, it's not just the clubs themselves losing out, but local economies are bound to be massively affected by these club closures.
There's a certain amount of money that's spent before people walk through the front door. We did this work with the casino, and it came out something like £171 before you actually bridged the entrance of a casino, whether you talk about staying over, new clothes, getting your hair done, taxis, food, etc. So, when you put 1 million customers on those sort of figures, you then start to walk into an environment without them. It's having some devastating impacts on local economy.
From a government point of view, the nightlife industry generates millions and millions of pounds every year, and it gets people out and spending late at night which is great for them. I think they should really take some more care and treat it more like a cultural institution.
It's clear that the people at the heart of this issue believe the government needs to do more to recognise the importance of the nighttime economy and protect it. Many are also calling for those higher up in the music industry to do more to support its grassroots.
There's a few countries where like the nightclub industry is seen more as a cultural thing that you kind of need to protect. I think they could do a lot better with that in the UK. Things like shutting down these kind of big building propositions, which kind of look over clubs and forcing clubs to shut down all of.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done which is ecosystem based. So I think the fan base needs to sort of contribute and support. The industry in terms of artists need to give back, but the government need to regain financial stability. And I think on a local level, we need to think about safety, regulatory controls and transport infrastructure to support the industry as best as possible.
Now, what does the future hold for the nightclub industry? Well, it seems if nothing is done, many clubs will continue to close. However, it doesn't seem like the fight is over just yet.
In the last quarter of last year, we actually saw a net positive position in terms of more clubs opening than closing. So that's a real positive move forward. But we need more and more people to go out and support the industry as a whole. Economics will come, but I just don't think we're in that space at the moment that we're able to affect change. But I think come October, November, I think it will be a different case, I hope. But the sad part about it is we're probably going to lose quite a few businesses up until that point.
With a third of UK nightclubs lost in the last 5 years, for many this isn't just about saving venues, it's about preserving culture and community. The challenge now is whether the industry's calls for help will be heard.